What's up everyone, welcome back to War Whispers, where history comes to life through the stories of those who lived it. Today, we've got a tale that reads like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, except this one is true. This is about a soldier, a rifle, and an infamous white feather which became a symbol of fear during the Vietnam War. We're diving into the story of Carlos Hathcock, also known as White Feather, the legendary American sniper whose incredible marksmanship changed the game and put a large bounty on his head during the war. So, bust open your ration pack, get comfy, and let's step into the jungle to uncover the story of a man who became a legend. Carlos Hathcock was born in 1942 in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he grew up amidst post-World War II America. During his youth, troops were returning from World War II and gun culture was growing. Many Americans were adding guns to their households, including Carlos's old man. This, of course, would lead a young Carlos into developing a passion for shooting. Reportedly, Carlos would take his father's Mauser rifle into the woods near his house just to pretend he was a soldier. In 1959, when he was 17 years old, Carlos enlisted in the Marine Corps, setting the stage for what would become a legendary career. Over the next 7 years in the army, he collected various awards for marksmanship, including winning the NRA's Wimbledon Cup. In 1966, at the age of 24, he was given the orders, off to Vietnam. Hathcock originally served as a military policeman, but was promptly transferred to the 1st Marine Sniper Platoon after word of his passion and skill set reached commanders. It's often said that the dense jungles and treacherous terrain of Vietnam is a place where visibility is often measured in feet rather than yards. The humidity is relentless. It leaves you in a pool of sweat within minutes. However, as it turns out, Carlos would thrive in this ruthless environment. For additional context, before the war, sniping was not really considered as major of a component of military strategy. Of course, snipers have existed for a long period of time, however, Hathcock would change the approach forever. With his Winchester Model 70 sniper rifle, he engaged targets that were often beyond 1,000 yards or 900 meters, a feat that seemed nearly impossible at the time. But what truly set Hathcock apart was not just his skill with a rifle, it was his unwavering discipline and ability to blend into the harsh jungle environment. This made him nearly impossible to the enemy. Carlos was known to wear a white feather in his hat, a symbol that would earn him the iconic nickname White Feather or Long Trang by North Vietnamese soldiers. This nickname would become synonymous with death, and a rumour of White Feather being nearby would strike fear into enemy soldiers. Reportedly, the North Vietnamese soldiers feared him enough to place a $30,000 bounty on his head. This was the largest bounty of the war, indicating his perceived threat level to enemy soldiers. Despite these bounties though, he never wavered in his mission or his dedication to his comrades. Now, let's take a closer look at some of the famous achievements of old Carlos Hathcock. Carlos Hathcock's service in Vietnam was distinguished by numerous high-stakes missions and remarkable achievements that have become legendary within military history. Here are some of his most notable feats. Number 1. In one of his most daring missions, an enemy general was known to be located nearby. To get close enough for an undetected shot, Hathcock crawled on his belly across 1,500 yards or over 1 kilometer of enemy-controlled territory. This took him 3 days without food or sleep, reportedly. Eventually, he got within 750 meters of the target and took out the high-ranking North Vietnamese general. This mission significantly disrupted enemy morale and operations, and a crazy showcasing of Hathcock's unmatched stealth and patience. Number 2. After striking fear into the hearts of many, the Vietnamese sent a deadly sniper specifically for Hathcock. This enemy soldier was nicknamed the Cobra, and was an elite sniper who was very familiar with the jungle environment. For many days, Carlos and his spotter, John Burke, played a deadly game of cat and mouse with the Cobra. Reportedly, while trekking through the jungle with his spotter, Hathcock tripped over a fallen tree, and at that exact moment, the Cobra fired, missing both men but hitting John Burke's canteen. The Cobra promptly ran into the jungle to change position before getting ready for another shot. Unfortunately for the Cobra, he put himself facing into the sunlight. Whitefeather would see a glint of light reflect off the enemy sniper's scope in the dense foliage and finally take out the Cobra. Some reports say that Hathcock's shot went through the enemy rifle scope in an almost impossible shot. However, others dispute this claim, stating that the bullet trajectory would require the Cobra's scope to be on such a precise angle that this is unlikely. It's more likely that the shot hit the enemy rifle scope on a different angle, still resulting in a kill. It's doubtful that the spotter and Hathcock could clearly see from such a distance, and I haven't been able to find any Vietnamese accounts of this incident. Either way, an incredibly impressive shot. Number 3. On another occasion, Hathcock undertook a mission where he slowly infiltrated enemy lines to target a platoon of North Vietnamese snipers. Reports say that he systematically eliminated them and significantly reduced the threat to American forces in the area. This operation highlighted his strategic impact on the battlefield. Missions like this are the reason the reputation of Whitefeather was widely known and feared by enemy soldiers. Number 4. In one of the most notable missions, a vicious female Viet Cong sniper and interrogator named the Apache Woman was tracked and taken out by Hathcock. This fearsome female sniper was reportedly responsible for torturing and killing American soldiers. Hathcock's story says that after tracking a platoon of snipers with spotter Jim Land, he noticed one soldier urinating differently to the others and realized it must be the Apache Woman. Some academics, however, heavily dispute this story altogether as a work of fiction drummed up to dehumanize and feminize the Vietnamese army. Some stating that there was no historical record of the Apache Woman in the Vietnamese books. Despite this, there have been multiple documentaries made on the subject over the years. Number 5. During the war, Hathcock set a record for the longest confirmed sniper kill by eliminating an enemy with a shot from 2,460 yards, or approximately 2,286 meters away. He used a 50 caliber M2 Browning machine gun equipped with a telescopic sight. This incredible shot stood as a testament to his exceptional skill and innovative use of equipment. This record stood for 35 years until 2002, when Canadian Aaron Perry broke the record in Afghanistan. By the end of his time in Vietnam, Hathcock was reported to have 93 confirmed kills, with he himself stating that he believes there are another 300 to 400 unconfirmed kills. This isn't unreasonable considering how difficult it can be to confirm kills from such distances and in jungle conditions. Unfortunately, in 1969, Hathcock was riding in an armoured vehicle when it hit a landmine. Hathcock, being the badass that he is, pulled 7 fellow servicemen from the flaming wreckage while suffering from his own severe burns. Hathcock was medically evacuated from Vietnam, but the psychological terror for North Vietnamese soldiers continued. They would always be on the lookout for the deadly Whitefeather. After the war, Hathcock was instrumental in developing sniping techniques, creating the Hathcock firing position for improved stability, which has gone on and influenced military sniper training for generations. After his service in Vietnam, Hathcock continued to shape the future of military sniping by helping to establish the Marine Corps Scout Sniper School in Quantico. This is where he shared his knowledge and experiences with new generations of snipers, ensuring that his legacy would live on. Carlos Hathcock's contributions to military sniping are simply unparalleled. His missions in Vietnam not only exemplify individual bravery and skill, but also highlight the evolution of sniping as a critical component of modern warfare. His legacy is not just in war stories, but in the lives he saved and the tactical advancements he inspired. Yet, this part of his legacy is also a point of contention. While many laud his contributions to military training, others question the overall military focus on sniping, concerned more about the moral and psychological implications for soldiers trained to kill from a distance. Despite these debates though, Hathcock's ethos, emphasizing patience, precision and respect for life, continues to resonate within military training. His approach to sniping, viewing it as a means to save lives by eliminating threats with minimal collateral damage, offers a nuanced perspective on the role of a sniper. Turning the page to yet another chapter in Hathcock's life brings us to the personal toll of his service. Beyond the accolades and legendary status, Hathcock faced significant challenges upon returning home. The invisible scars of war, the psychological strain that comes with being a sniper, they didn't simply vanish once the gunfire stopped. Hathcock's health issues, particularly the effects of multiple sclerosis, which he attributed to exposure to Agent Orange, remind us of the long-term impacts of service that many veterans face. Carlos Whitefeather Hathcock would pass away from multiple sclerosis in 1999 at the age of 59. Carlos Hathcock's story is a powerful journey from a young marksman to a legendary sniper and mentor. His legacy is marked by both his battlefield prowess and his commitment to future Marines. Whitefeather is a badass nickname and an incredible story worth telling. Subscribe to War Whispers.